My Hebrew brothers and sisters, welcome back. 12 tribes of Israel scattered all over the globe. We just want to tell you that we appreciate you, we love you. We want to thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your comments. I've responded to several of you personally, and some I'm just saying again to all, thank you, because your subscription means a lot, helps us to move forward. Right now, we think we're just about 184 subscriptions to make 1,000. And we're asking you to tell your friends, your loved ones, encourage them to sign up, to be a part of this ministry, and to subscribe and to learn from the teaching that we are giving and this network. So the last time we were in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 21 through 35. And we learned that through wisdom, one, and when we say one here, we're talking about Hebrew Israelite, person, learns to place his or her trust, her confidence and trust in Yahuwah. And it is a trust that brings peace of mind, and my brothers and my sisters, for which we are searching so earnestly. So we want to continue. Today we want to start out again, and we're going to title this, The Benefits of Wisdom. And we're going to have several parts to this. We're starting chapter 4, and we're going to be concentrating and in this session, we're going to concentrate on chapter 4, verses 1. That's Proverbs chapter 4, verses 1 through 3. And we're going to read that for you, because listen what it said here. In verse 1, it said, "Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding." In verse 2, it said, "For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law." Verse 3, "For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother." Now, as we continue here, let's remember we talk about wisdom personified as a human, as a person, okay? And wisdom takes on the form of the feminine gender, okay? And so we want to continue as we look at these words. There's some words that are dear to us. They are dear to us, and we want to share these words. We want to give some lights on these words. And so we're not sure we're going to finish all 3 verses in this one session, But in this part here, in this part 1 that we're dealing with here, we want to look at the first word that we see in verse 1. And we're going to look, not the first word, but we want, matter of fact, the first word. The word said, "Hear, hear, hear." And as we look at this word, it said, hear what it said. "Hear ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know the understanding." Okay? "For I give you," verse 12, "for I give you good doctrine." And it said, "Forsake ye not my law." For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. So the first word we want to look at is the word hear. Here is the Hebrew word shama. Shama. In the Shema, it said, "Hear, O Israel." And as we read in Deuteronomy, "Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah or Elohim is one." And he went on to tell us what is required of us. So Shema, the Hebrew letters that make up this word that make up Shema is Shin, Mem, and Ayin. And then the primary root of this, of Shema, is to hear intelligently. Often, with the implication of attention, like calling you to attention, obedience, and to pay attention, attentively, obedience, attentively, call together, carefully, certainly, consent, consider, be content, declare, diligently, discern, give ear, to let, to make, make to do something, to hear, when a command is given, you have to pay attention to that command. You have to respond to the command. Okay, indeed, listen, proclaim, to publish, to tell, to understand. And whosoever heareth, whosoever is listening. Okay, and you can be a witness also for that. Okay, so hear, O children, hear, and it's calling the children to listen, to pay attention, to diligently, to discern, to give ear, to listen, to proclaim, in the sense of publishing or telling, to have a good understanding, and whoever's listening, whoever's hearing. Okay, so that's the word for here. That's the instruction. Look in verse 1 again, and look at the word instruction, which comes from another Hebrew word, mu-sar. It is spelled M-U-W-C-A-R. And in the Hebrew, the C by itself, it has the S sound. So it's a mu-sar. Mem, Vav, Samek, and Resh make up this word. These are the letters in the Hebrew alphabet that make up this word, meaning chastisement, or reproof, or warning, or instruction, also restraint, chastening, correction, doctrine, rebuke, and so he said, hear, the instruction of thy father. And so we are to pay attention to the instruction that is given to us. Okay? Pay attention to the instruction that is given to us. One of the reasons why our ancestors failed, in their relationship and fellowship with Yahuwah is the fact that they would not hear, they would not listen. And so we are to hear. Okay, now remember I said, to hear the instruction. Hear the instruction. And I want you to notice also, look at the word, look at the next word, good. Good. Because he talk about in giving us good doctrine. Okay? in verse 2. Look at the word good there. Because the word good comes also from another Hebrew word, which is tob. Tob. The word is spelled T-O-W-B, okay, in English. But in the Hebrew alphabet, we see there's letters tet, vav, and bet that make up that word. Excuse me, my throat is a little bit dry here, so I'm going to get some water. But but notice here that the meaning here is good. The meaning, the word good, good in the widest sense. Okay, good in the widest sense. To make good, to make something good, you know. A good or good thing, something beautiful, something, you know, cheerful, something at ease, something gracious, kind, you know, most pleasant, pleasure, precious, something sweet, something well favored, and that's the word good there in verse 2. And I want us to look, continue with me, and look in the same verse 2. Look at the word doctrine. Remember, I say it gives you good doctrine, and this is another word that comes, even though it has instruction in the meaning of this. It's a different Hebrew word. It's a different Hebrew word. Because this Hebrew word, let me spell it in English so you have an understanding, at least a little bit of idea of what it sounds like. Leqach. And it is pronounced le-ka. And the word is from 3 Hebrew letters, Lamed, Kaf, and Chet. And the meaning of this word is something received, something, the doctrine here we talk about, something received. You know, like in churches, we talk about the church doctrine of the church. Okay? Yeah, they come up with their own doctrine, their own teaching, right? Some are pretty close to the scripture, and some are just, you know, something that they made up, right? It's not something that Yahuwah gave them. Okay? But what the wisdom is telling us here, that we have to hear the instruction of the Father. All the children must hear. And then he said, he is giving, the reason why we have to hear, because he said, for he is giving us good doctrine. So, Leika comes from the word and the Hebrew word, and it means something received that is mentally, you know, instruction. Whether this instruction is on the part of the teacher or the hearer. Okay. Also, in an act or sinister sense. Okay? So, this invigoment, a kind of a sense of invigoment, you know, the person, invigorate a person, to do something, that is good. Most time, person, we are inveigled to do something that is wrong or contrary. But here is giving us good doctrine, so learning, good learning. Sometimes we want to refer to this as fair speech. My brothers and my sisters, the time is gone, and we have to stop here. So we're going to encourage you to check on the next part 2 of this session, of this benefits of wisdom, so you could learn some more. Blessings to you, and be a blessing to someone today, and walk with the King. Shalom.